Stop. Before construction work starts, ask one question. What can hurt someone, and what will we do about it? Safety. Sam here. Today, I will explain a practical risk assessment process you can use before work begins and whenever conditions change. First, understand the difference between a hazard and a risk. A hazard is something with the potential to cause harm, such as an open edge, moving equipment, electricity, silica dust, or a suspended load. Risk considers what could happen, how severe the outcome could be, and how likely the event or exposure may be under the actual working conditions. Step 1. Define the work and involve the people who will do it. Break the job into understandable stages. Confirm the location, equipment, materials, sequence, nearby activities, weather, access, and non-routine conditions. Ask workers and supervisors where the task becomes difficult and what changes during the work. People doing the job often understand hazards that are not obvious from an office. Step 2. Identify the hazards. Walk the area and observe the task. Review equipment instructions, safety data sheets, inspections, previous incidents, near misses, and job hazard analyses. Consider falls, mobile plant, electricity, stored energy, lifting operations, noise, heat, dust, vapors, manual handling, access, housekeeping, and foreseeable emergencies. Ask what new hazard could be introduced by a change in equipment, material, sequence, layout, or crew. Step 3. Identify who may be harmed and how. Include employees, contractors, visitors, delivery drivers, and members of the public where relevant. Consider new workers and anyone with communication needs. Do not look only at the people inside the immediate work area. Nearby workers may also be exposed. Describe the credible harm clearly. A fall, struck by injury, crushing, electric shock, inhalation exposure, entanglement, or musculoskeletal injury. Step 4. Evaluate and prioritize the risk. Consider the severity of the credible outcome, the likelihood of the event or exposure, how often and how long people are exposed, and how many people may be affected. A risk matrix can support consistent decisions, but it does not replace professional judgment or applicable legal requirements. Check existing controls honestly. Never use a low-looking score to justify work when a serious recognized hazard is not adequately controlled. Step 5. Select and implement controls using the hierarchy of controls. First, ask whether the hazard can be eliminated. For example, can part of the work be completed at ground level? If elimination is not reasonably practicable, consider substitution with a safer material, method, or tool. Next, use engineering controls to isolate people from the hazard. Then add safe work practices and administrative controls, including planning, sequencing, barriers, exclusion zones, permits, supervision, and training. Personal protective equipment is important, but it is the final layer. Use a combination of controls when one measure is not enough, and check that the controls do not create new hazards. Record the important decisions: the hazard, who may be harmed, the selected controls, the responsible person, and the completion date. Communicate the assessment in language the workforce understands. Before starting, verify that every critical control is installed, tested, and being used correctly. The risk remaining after controls are applied is called residual risk. If the remaining risk is unacceptable, strengthen the controls or stop and redesign the work. A risk assessment is not finished when the form is signed. Review it when equipment, materials, people, weather, site layout, or work sequence changes. Review it after an incident or near miss, and whenever a control fails or proves ineffective. ISO 45001 reinforces this continuing cycle of planning, implementation, checking, and improvement. Remember, define the work, identify hazards, identify who may be harmed, evaluate the risk, and control it. Then communicate, verify, and review. A risk assessment is not paperwork before work. It is a decision process that must remain accurate while the work changes. I am Safety Sam. Work safely, stay alert, and look out for others.